Penumbra: Black Plague was the sequel to the iconic survival horror game Penumbra Overture. Due to both of these titles being developed by the indie game developer team, Frictional Games, there are always many interesting extra tidbits accompanying the games themselves and in surrounding media. The fact that Black Plague was developed specifically to be scarier than Overture doesn't detract from the mysteries and intriguing elements the game has to offer. Here are the top 10 facts about Penumbra: Black Plague. Like its predecessor, Penumbra: Black Plague had a demo before its release. Within this demo, small differences from the final release can be observed in a few of the locations, most notably as the player goes through the vents at the beginning. The body of an infected human can be seen in a room from above. In the final release, this room is better illuminated by X-ray screens. In the demo, these are completely absent, only leaving the flickering red light to illuminate what's simultaneously both a mystery and a creeping horror waiting to come to life. The end of this demo occurs rather abruptly in the facility's mess hall. After solving a puzzle to get through an emergency door, a certain further kitchen door lies at the end of the inner room. Opening this door instantly ends the demo via a script. However, it is entirely possible, if a bit tricky, to bypass this event and open the door by using physics objects around the player to open the door without clicking on it. The contents inside are half-functional, to say the least. The computer terminal can be powered on, but the interface seen in the full game never appears. The CD found in the main mess hall area can be used on the terminal, but this has no reaction whatsoever. The flashlight and batteries can be picked up and work as intended in the full game. The save artifact works, and so does the projector right next to it. The player only produces a blank page when attempting to copy the timeline onto their notes, however. In the main game, careful observation reveals that much content from Black Plague was reused from Overture, starting from one of the very first screens you see when you load up the game for the first time. The opening title mistakenly lists the game as Penumbra Overture instead of Black Plague. This is the first occurrence of leftover material making its way into Overture's sequel title, and certainly not the last. If one goes into the game's files, it can quickly be deduced that the Penumbra: Black Plague English language file was originally just Penumbra Overtures, copied and pasted, and then edited. A giveaway is that the first few lines are exactly the same, with noteworthy pieces being a bloody club, 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 and looks like I'm trapped here, and I believe that fits well with the fact that this is the end of this short Penumbra Overture demonstration. This is a line presumably from some demonstration of Overture, though it isn't actually seen at the end of the particular demo commercially available. Also of note is that a typo made its way into this hidden text as well. Furthermore, as was common for Frictional Games within their earliest titles, there are a number of typos and grammar inaccuracies, notably in the subtitles and certain notes. While the issue is not as prominent as it was in Penumbra's tech demo or even in Overture, it does still exist, and there are many examples to show.
we'd planned. I think one of the Inuit workers made it, but others were taken. Some panicked and got lost. I ran, and when I stopped, I was on my own. Oh, and another symptom is deja vu.
Look here. It seems, yeah. The visual cortex of this monkey is certainly of a simplistic design. If I can just... There, you see? It's like molding clay. That is the most fun I've had in my entire life! Which isn't saying much. Yeah! Feast on him, brother! Free us both!
Unlike its predecessor, Penumbra Black Plague actually features a standalone tutorial that explains the base mechanics of the game. There's nothing especially noteworthy about this tutorial, save for the fact that the map, or at least one very similar to it, is reused within part of a map in Penumbra Requiem, an expansion to Black Plague that focuses on puzzles and problem solving, rather than fear and horror. In the demo, and in the full game itself, the player returns to the section of the facility they were imprisoned in, though outside their cell by now. After collecting medical alcohol, listening to a tape from the recent past, and cutting the power to access locked rooms, the player has their first true encounter with one of the infected humanoids, alive and walking. Even though the game directs the player to hide from it by means of the protagonist himself thinking upon it via a text prompt, a quick escape is entirely possible, if unrealistic and spur of the moment. The player simply has to bolt for the door at the far end of the corridor as soon as they have control over their movement again, and the infected will not even take notice of them if the player does this quick enough.
Someone there.
While the player has access to both the glow stick and the flashlight, just like in Overture, it takes some time for the flashlight to become obtainable. One major difference between the two games is that batteries are now collectible, as in, the batteries do not auto-replenish the flashlight's power, and are stored in the inventory. This improved method of managing a vital resource would lead to its return in a future Frictional Games title, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, in the form of a lantern and oil potions. Late in the main game, the player ventures outside to access a different part of the facility while being harassed by the malevolent and duplicitous entity, Clarence, within the protagonist's mind. While looking for assets to aid progression, a bridge must be crossed that nearly instantly collapses afterwards.
Now, if I were you, which arguably I am, I'd be asking myself in a gormless sort of voice, did that bridge really collapse, or is my good friend Clarence just playing an hilarious jape? The answer, monkey man, is that I don't even know myself. One way to find out. Please, don't get us killed.
While a treacherous way back is presented in the form of ledges along a cliffside, there is an alternate way to get back. Using large boxes and crates nearby and dragging them to the closest point of the collapse makes it entirely possible to jump over where the snowy bridge once stood. Risky, dangerous, unintended, yet entirely viable for a solution to a problem in the world. Finally, if one collects all the bonus artifacts in the main game, at the very end of the game, past the credits and statistics, a string of numbers and letters is revealed. One can use this code to access some hidden files in the game's directory, a compressed folder called super_secret. This folder contains concept art for levels, enemy designs, larger versions of some art pieces seen during the game's cinematics, and a behind-the-scenes video showing footage of Thomas Grip, Frictional Games co-founder, setting up enemy animations using himself as a reference. Definitely a wealth of insight and information into the game's construction. That'll close this case on the top 10 facts about Penumbra Black Plague. If you enjoyed this kind of content and want to see more, please consider subscribing and share this video with your friends. Thanks to all you horror fans for watching. I am the Midnight Researcher, and I will see you all around.